to know where to go and to leave space and to drag defenders out of the way. And I think that's a pretty important thing to do in football, is to make space and make space in the right places for other players. I think in a strange way, if Darwin had been playing today, I think Darwin's a different type of player. I think he occupies a central space, and probably as yet Liverpool are still trying to work out how to use him. He's only played a couple of games, but I think for a game like today where you needed to hit your stride, go back to basics, do all the things that Liverpool are good at, I think having Bobby there was central to that, because he knows exactly what it is or how it is that Jurgen wants to play the game. And I think today his link play, his work in and around the box, his ability to make space, leave space for Luis and Mo to come from outside to in. I don't think it was by accident today that you saw Liverpool at their best with Bobby playing as number 9.
Absolutely, absolutely. A great answer. He's been so central, been such a fulcrum to everything we've done, as you say. Great answer, Ryan. But another player who's just coming through, Nigel, is Harvey Elliott. Alan put an interesting, it's a message in the chat. It says, come on, the pool. Harvey Elliott just did an interview on LFC TV, and he was crying, talking about his goal. Apparently his nan died a few days ago. So, as Alan says there in the chat, R.I.P. to Harvey's nan. And, our heart goes out to them. And what a tribute to her. What an absolutely beautiful tribute. And, the way he took his goal. And you wouldn't know. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we had no idea, because his performance was absolutely sensational. It's the one-touch, two-touch passing with the ball that's just so exciting for Harvey, isn't it, Nigel? He was brilliant for his 45 minutes.
Absolutely. I'd say that's why he might have been taken off, because of that. He got his goal, played really, really well. Gave his now I didn't know that, so I just it's brilliant that he got to give her a good send off like that. Just go back to Bobby for one moment. That was his second goal today, was his 100th goal for Liverpool, and people still criticise him. Just this is rarefied air. There's not too many people that have scored 100 goals for Liverpool, and I wouldn't swap Bobby for anybody. I've said it several times. I've said it to Man United fans, and they're going, "Oh, he's not that good." Yeah, try playing without him when he's playing well. You try and stop him when he's playing well. He was trying to run back and cover about 3 positions the other night, and he just left us kind of wide open. It was unfortunate, but I love Bobby. Back to Harvey. I was on my way back from playing golf in the first half, and they were raving about him on LFC TV on the commentary. Steve Hunter and Alan Kennedy, and they were absolutely raving about his performance. Alan Kennedy said he was man of the match so far at half time.
I forgot. Sorry, you were on your way back from golf. I'll ask you about the second half, because you caught the second half. You caught Fabio Carvalho. I'll ask you about Fabio.
He's just, the goal was just, oh my God, it's just pure technique. The guy, you can liken the two of them, because they've just got a very, very good similar technique. I'm wondering, is it any kind of fluke that they both came from Fulham?
Well, no, because I actually, there was an interview and they had the same personal trainer. I don't know if he was they had the same football coach. I think his name was Dan Thomas or something like that. They mentioned his name in an interview in the week, and they were saying how they used to do this thing, like, for example, like Wacky Wednesdays, when they would have this kind of fun little game together. And they've been to school together, and they went to Fulham, and then now they're in. So it's like Harvey and Carvalho. It's and it's great to see them both, with such a great connection on and off the pitch, isn't it, Nigel? I mean,
and both left-footed.
Yeah. Or Fabio, he's like both-footed, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, wonderful stuff.
Predominantly left-footed. That was 2 great finishes today by both of them. I mean, Harvey's finish was just to open the body out, just see the thing quickly. Opened the body out after Bobby miscontrolled the ball, I think, but slotted into the corner, and then Carvalho, after a very, very nice cutback by the Greek Scouser, the Scouse Greek, whatever, just a beautifully timed volley. Often you see those disappearing into the top corner of the cop, like, you know. But it was just, it kept it on top of the ball, foot over the ball, and volleyed it into the corner. Just, you know, not the easiest technique in the world, but he made it look easy.
He did indeed. He did make it look easy. It was sweet. It was sweet. I mean, they say sweet as a nut. I can think of sweeter things than nuts. Sweet as honey? I don't know. Brian, it was lovely. I don't know. We've got loads of people we haven't mentioned yet. Virgil was good today. You know, Joe Gomez, excellent performance, I thought, at the back. Big Mo didn't get a goal. Imagine that. 9-0, and Mo didn't get a goal, did he? He didn't even get an assist. No assist, no goals. 5.89 on who scored. There's 4 days left of the transfer window. Should sell Mo. Brian, sell him. He's rubbish. Who else can you talk about? There's loads of people, loads of choices. Luis Diaz, Lucho. We haven't even mentioned. Who do you want to talk about?
Lucho, man. Lucho is showing all shades of Luis Suarez. There was a moment when he was on his ass and he got back up again, rose like a phoenix. And I thought, no, there's still goals to be had. There's fun, you know, you just can't put the man down. You know, he's street football, all the cliches. He's a fighter. And when he scored his goal, like, he's like giving it loads to the crowd, going, come on. You know, you get it. He just feels it. And he just reminds me of Luis Suarez so much, you know. He has whatever Luis Suarez had, he has it as well. He has that kind of anger. Like, you just get the impression that when he crosses the line, it's all business, you know. He has one thing on his mind, and that's winning and scoring goals. And he strikes me as the kind of player who, I mean, there was moments of absolute genius from Lucho. You know, that 99% of players don't have in their bag of tricks. You know, like a drop of the shoulder or you know, changing of the pace, that only those really, really top players, just when they're in the flow, they just pull it off. And I was so happy for him. I mean, it was a goal fiesta tonight, right? There was goals coming in this afternoon, coming in everywhere. But Lucho, I was thinking, the same way I wanted Klopp to get a cup, not for Liverpool. For the first time in my life, I said, that man deserves success. I don't care if it's for Liverpool. He does not deserve to fail. And it just so happened it was with us. It was great. And then Lucho as well, you think everybody wants him to succeed. Like, we've all taken him into our hearts straight away. There's something, sometimes you just can't put your finger on it with a player. You just think he has everything. It's like, who's that player who used to play for us back in the early Brendan Rodgers days, who now plays for the senior team and still looks like he's 27. My brain's gone.
Steven Gerrard.
No, like, he's Spanish. I think he's a Spanish player. Anyway, it's gone. But there's certain players who just come along and the fans just love them.
Aspas.
No, what Aspas? Fuck that guy. No.
We would have scored from his corners today.
Enrique, no. Anyway, it's gone. Lucho's a legend. And now that the goals are starting to come, it's going to be so much fun watching him play for the next 3 years. You know, if he can just keep going and gradually in that trajectory, you can tell that he's going to influence games. And he's got like the next big thing about him for sure, you know. So he was amazing tonight.
Absolutely great answer. And you know, keep thinking about the person you're trying to think of, because I don't know, it's not Balotelli.
No.
Okay.
He's little Demi-Moore, just genius.
Okay, little Spanish genius. I don't know.
He's a Benitez player. He's a Benitez player.
Luis Garcia.
The man!
Okay.
the beautiful human being that is Luis Garcia.
Luis Garcia.
Oh, what a handsome little man he is. And
go.
Still playing like he could play in the top 11 for most teams now, you know? But like, he's a player that we just took to him. Like, he wasn't necessarily the best Liverpool player we've ever had, but there's just something about him. We just love the bowl of that guy.
Give the ball away 400 times in a game and then score a 40-yard header.
Exactly.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. I mean,
And
you know,
grey hair. He had
he
grey hair
drank
as
so
well,
much
so, you know.
sangria. That was the thing, wasn't it? Excellent stuff. Excellent answer, Ryan. You can enthuse about Luis Diaz as well, just like we all can, because he's brilliant. Talk to me about what your thoughts on Luis Diaz.
I think the thing that's impressed me since he's come in is that he's well able to handle the physicality of the game in England. You know, again on Monday night, he certainly wasn't one of the players hiding. He was taking the game to United. He wasn't afraid to run at defenders even when it was physical. And you could see today, much in the same way that he's been marked out now for a lot of close attention, because he is one of the players that Liverpool rely on in terms of a match winner. He was getting some very close attention, especially in the first half. And once or twice you could see the referee off the ball going towards him to kind of have a word with him to let him know that like he was keeping his eye on it. I think Adam Smith picked up a booking. It wasn't necessarily a booking for a foul on Luis Diaz, but it came at the end of a phase of play where Luis Diaz had frustrated him, and then he went in and made a late tackle on someone else. So look, I think that the thing that impresses me, apart from his natural ability, he's a fantastic footballer, is the fact that since he's arrived, that street fighter able to handle the physical attention, the close attention, and his temperament is outstanding. I don't think I've seen him react to it, you know. But aside from that, I think today the thing that was really pleasing is that, typical of Klopp, I think when the game finished, when the final whistle was blown, you had Fabio Carvalho on the pitch, you had Bobby Clark on the pitch, you had Stefan Bastic on the pitch. And look, it's again typical of Jurgen. I know some people will say it's easy to do when you're 6 or 7 up, but I think for any young player currently at another club who's looking in terms of having development, and I think and certainly around the way that Liverpool have kind of restructured the youth system since Jurgen has come in with Vitor Matos and Pep Linders in the background, and the progression, the stages up to progression now that they have for these players, that they come and train with the first team, that it's all on the one side at Kirkby, that they go away with them on pre-season. It was fantastic today to see 3-4 young, very young, talented footballers being given the opportunity at the end of the game, albeit when somebody starts talking to you about Lee Clark's son, you do feel a little bit old. But but I thought today when he came on, and again, the thing about all 3 players when they came on, we know about Fabio Carvalho, but Bobby Clark and Bastic certainly weren't shy about taking possession in tight corners and in tight areas and getting on the ball and getting involved in the play in the triangles and playing their little passes. So there's been a lot of talk, I suppose, about the age profile of the Liverpool team and what we're doing in terms of recruitment and that, but you know, none of us know the inside ongoings at Anfield, and I think what you've got to rely on is what's happened since Jurgen's come in. And since Jurgen's come in, I think there's been a pretty clear plan on recruitment, allied to giving younger players their head when he can. And I think today, fantastic to see those 3 boys getting a chance to come on and play. And added to Harvey's goal in the first half, you're still talking about a player here in Harvey Elliott who's yet to make 20 starts for Liverpool, you know. So I mean, his ability is frightening. You see the 3 boys coming on at the end. I think it bodes very, very well for the future. And I think maybe, you know, after a week where we've come out of it, and I think, look, there's too much hyperbole in football these days, and one result has everybody in crisis mode. But I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that suggests that even beyond today and 9-0, we'll see a lot more of these players playing at Anfield and a lot of the type of football that we saw today, Owen.
It's an excellent answer, and they did stand out. Bajcetic as well. I mean, he came on with a lot of confidence. I still got a lot of. I mean, as we all do, got a lot of hope for that kid. Absolutely wonderful. But Nigel, we just won 9-0, but we still need people in that, in that age bracket between the kids and the over 30s, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely do. We've had the under 23s through 3-all with Spurs last night after being 3-0 down, and the under 18s beat Man United 4-2 this morning. So there's some Harvey Blair scored a fantastic goal last night. There's some really, really good players. Herbie Kane was playing for the under 23s last night. He'd been out on loan to Doncaster last year, scored a few goals for him, played quite well. There's some very, very good players. James Norris, a very good fullback. Bajcetic is 17. His dad played for Serbia. He's born in Spain. He's an incredible player. He really will be. He looked like he's been there all the time. Young Leighton Stewart played last night as well. He's back from injury as well.
Oh, great! Great news.
He's a good player as well. You know, there's plenty there on offer. You can imagine cup competitions, early cup competitions. Jurgen will give these boys a go. You know, Harvey Davis on the bench in the Charity Shield was playing last night.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the future's bright, but I mean, who should we get in the middle of this? You know, we should sign someone 24, 25, bring out 80 million, get Barella, give Inter Milan an offer they can't refuse, put a horse head in their director's bed. I don't know.
Frankie de Jong. Or Neves and Wolves.
Ooh, okay. Why?
Because he's ideal for us. Neves will control our midfield. He'll just sit in front of the ball with a quality team. Sit Fabinho behind him. Sit him in. If Thiago can't play, he's an ideal Thiago-esque replacement. He's that kind of a player. And he'll just pull strings and play passes, and he can do pretty much everything in an attacking sense and do some of the dirty stuff as well.
Excellent. Well, I mean, he's certainly an experienced player, great playmaker. Yep. Absolutely. Excellent stuff. Some more facts from today. Liverpool scored 9 goals in a single top-flight game for the first time since September versus Crystal Palace, 9-0. So there you go. It's the biggest margin of victory in any league match ever, including that 10-1 Rotherham Town game. But in terms of the Premier League, because that's how far Google goes back, but, history goes beyond Google, strangely. Kids. Liverpool scored 5 goals in the first half of a single Premier League game for the first time, whereas it was the first time that we'd scored 5 in any top-flight game since October 1927 against Portsmouth. Everything went right today. I mean, there was an own goal, there were volleys flying in instead of just wide, like Fabio's tried a couple before, hasn't he? Fabio Carvalho, or just call him Carvey. Carvey's flashed them wide before. Everything went right. Big Verge scored that great header. He looked like he was on a mission today, with the celebration. Yeah, exactly, the waggle finger celebration. Brian, he looks like he's got a point to prove, and hopefully, I'm sure he will. He'll take it beyond this trouncing of Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think quite a few players had a point to prove. Not that they did need to prove a point as such, because I think they've earned our patience. They're allowed to have a couple of games, but I suppose we've set the bar so high. And I think there's an element that the football press and certainly the fans, the opposition fans, are so tired of bigging up Liverpool because everybody's been big. It's undeniable. We've been amazing for so long. We've got an amazing manager. We've got an amazing story. We played the best football, the most entertaining football in the league most years. We may not win everything, but most people want to watch Liverpool play. And so it's when you're at the top, people want to knock you, and we're at the top. And the minute we seemed like, they're faltering, people are like throwing pelters. So Verge, people are saying, maybe Verge is not as good as we thought he was. Nonsense, It's he was stamping his authority on the game again. I mean, there was a little kind of shaky moment in the first 10 minutes, I think, when he let the ball run a little bit too long, and he thought that could have gone either way. The other player could have grabbed that ball, and then the pressure's on him. But no, he was commanding again, and I think also there was a couple of moments from watching it abroad, you could see that the TV cameras honed in on his face, and he just had that kind of unfazzled look about him again. you know, where I think, our beautiful, glorious keeper has the same thing. Like, if he fucks up, it's gone straight away. It doesn't hang around, and all the best players have that, you know, the ability just to, like, there's no second thinking themselves, you know. And he looked like that today. He looked commanding, and when he scored that goal, he was kind of like, what, did you doubt me? Well, you know, all the players that scored, even Trent, you know, I'm sure we'll get onto that, you know, they all had that look about them. Doubt me again, you know. It was amazing, just amazing, from every man on the pitch, even the subs. Every part of that game was just cathartic, is the way I would describe it. It really was. It was a release, you know. As usual, I was watching it with my buddy. We were just fucking fist pumping each other the whole way through it. We were like, I needed this. I so needed this. And I think I spoke about Robbo earlier on, not to kind of go on about, you know, talking about Virgil, but I really thought Robbo was, like, the first half, his delivery from the left and from corners was amazing. Like, he was putting it, like, I think he got a couple of assists today or whatever, but he was really putting it in the mixer with pace. And everything he did was just back to vintage Robbo, you know. And I think he's Robbo as well. It's like, people talk about Fabinho, when Fabinho's not playing, we really see that affect the entire team. But I think Robbo is like the heart of the team. He's the emotion of the team. And when he's kind of off it and second guess it, it's like a disease. It spreads to the rest of the team and stuff. But, you know, he's got that tenacious fieriness about him. And it rubs off on the team. And that was back in with a gusto today. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, to answer your original question, Veg just looked like he should be on a horse, you know, going up and down the line, going, today's a day to die. It was brilliant.
Yeah, totally brilliant. And another thing, I'm just trying to find my notes here, because I do this thing, Ryan, sometimes where I just make a note of how many times the opposition can touch the ball, because it's something that's easy to pass you by when you're watching a game if you don't actually, like, stop and take a moment to admire most of the time our pressing game, because you know, I did it for the last 5 minutes, well, between minute 39 and 44, before they actually had their best move, which was 12 passes together, and then on the counter we stopped it eventually, and on the counter attack Bobby almost scored. But before that, in the 5 minutes before that, we were in the first half. We were absolutely superb, right? Because Bournemouth passes that they were able to make in those 5 minutes. The first one was 2, including a goal kick to a header, and then we won it back. And then they touched the ball from blocking our shot. And then they touched the ball because they managed to clear that corner with their head. And then the next time they got it back, they were able to have 3 touches from a goal kick, including the goal kick. So 2 others after the goal kick before we won it back. And then the only other touch in 5 minutes was another goal kick, and we won it back immediately. And it's like, we're so good. Not all of those were counter-pressing or anything, but we're so good at winning the ball back quickly when we're on song. And, you know, you've got to give credit to everybody for that, because that's about shape, and it's about commitment, and it's about, you know, organisation, knowing when to go, making right decisions, and also playing with gusto and heart and fire. And that's why it's so pleasing, Ryan. It's beautiful to watch our pressing game, isn't it? Oh, Ryan's frozen there. Maybe, I don't know. Nigel, are you still there?
Our neighbour couldn't park her car, so I went over and gave her a hand. So.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
that's what I was doing.
Excellent. There you go. Very good. Very good. So there you go. You've done your good deed for the day, or maybe it's your 17th good deed for the day. Well done.
Not quite.
So yeah, I was talking about our pressing. What do you think about our pressing?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, just we never let them settle. Never let them settle on the ball. Like it's the direct opposite of what was happening on Monday. We were trying to dive in on people, and instead of just sitting up in front of them, and you know, diving in from alongside and giving them space to work in behind us. Like, we looked like we didn't know one another there. Our players looked like they didn't know one another on Monday. You know, when we get it right, when we get it right, it's a joy to behold because there's nobody as good at. You see, I've seen a few other teams trying it recently, trying to play the same way, trying to play a high line, and you know, putting the press on, and they're just not as good because you've got Bobby there and you've got Diaz, who he's like what could I call him? It's like watching a Freddy Krueger film or something like that. He just appears out of nowhere and just slices people. You know what I mean? That's.
It is like that, absolutely. Yeah, it's like being chased by Jason, but Jason's on speed, Brian. Jason's on speed. Yeah, absolutely. It's superb to watch. I want to move on a little bit because we have to put these things in context. It's fucking weird. Excuse my language, but it's really very odd that we go from one extreme to the other. I mean, this is the same team that 5 days ago was awful. And then against Palace, with 10 men, he got 1-1. We played well against Palace. We played well. And then the game before that against Fulham, we were awful. And then the game before that in the Community Shield, we were freaking brilliant. Brian, this Jekyll and Hyde nonsense has got to stop. Hopefully, you know, the catharsis that you were talking about before, we got the rubbish out of our system and we need to move forward. So, I mean, you know, our next match is against Newcastle, is it? I don't even know. I think it's against Newcastle in midweek.
Championship team, I think they got promoted this season, didn't they?
Newcastle, I don't know.
But I think somewhere around Birmingham or something like that.
Something like that. So yeah, we've got Newcastle. That's it on Wednesday at Anfield. Wow, that could be fun. I mean, Newcastle are
Liverpool, Newcastle, fireworks.
I think it could be right. Eddie Howe loves to attack. You know, we've got our tails up. We're gonna. I mean, you know. What are you looking forward to, Brian, with Liverpool, Newcastle?
Well, you know, just to kind of like to go on, speak about what you were talking about, this kind of topsy-turvy performance thing that we've seen over the past 4 games. I mean, I think we are so privileged to be living through the Klopp era right now. We'll look back on this when we've got grandchildren and we think, yeah, I was there. I was there when the great man was managing the club because I watched an interview with him, and like he's just so likable, so credible. He says such the right things. It's very difficult to go after him. I think that the press box are just not clever enough to say things, right? They just know immediately. They're intimidated by his intelligence. I could tell by it, right? And today he was like saying, and they were asking very meek questions, going, "Oh, it's gone badly before, and now it's going badly again. And how do you feel about it going badly? And what do you do when it's going badly?" And he's just like a Aikido master. You know, he just knows the question's coming. He just parries it straight away. He's like, "Oh, I look forward to these moments. It's in these moments I can not my English is not so good, but bringing the group back together, it's beautiful. It's like we really look for it." And you just get you just get this idea that this guy gets it, like on every level. He's like, every moment of adversity, it's gold. When it's gold, it's gold. When it's shit, it's still gold. It's always gold. There's always moments to make more gold, you know? And those kind of people are very, very rare in this world, let alone in this time. And those players who are playing for him, you know, they must cherish every moment they've got with this brilliant guy because, yeah, look, we're in the shit. We're absolutely in the shit. We're behind the 8 ball. Everybody's after us. Everybody's like the press are already writing the stories. They just can't wait. They're rubbing their hands. And he takes that moment and he immediately, like, I mean, I hate to bring up old Whiskey Nose, but Whiskey Nose was brilliant at this. He was like, they're all out to get us. You know, everybody hates us. You know, the wolves are at the door. All we've got is ourselves. So, you know, for him to frame those really sort of tough times, even though it's only 3 weeks, and to turn it into this moment to just prove everybody wrong, which he's done, is amazing. And I've kind of forgot what your original question was because I've just been waxing lyrical about Klopp for the
To be honest, I don't even know what I was too engrossed in what you were saying to even bother with my original question. No, you're absolutely right. You brought up Slurgy there, and I'll bring you in a moment, Nigel, but I just want to point out every time that people bring up Alex Ferguson, the average points total that anyone's needed to win the Premier League in the last 5 years is 94. And Ferguson only ever managed 92. That's his record. So I don't think... I mean, okay, Ferguson, he's I'm not saying he's not a brilliant manager because he was absolutely superb for Manchester United. Of course he was. He won all those titles. But I think he's not a patch on Jurgen. I don't care.
No, and he used to park in handicap spaces all the time.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He sometimes paint over,
Hashtag
tarmac over the
handicap
sign.
spaces.
He
Hashtag.
would. Absolutely. Nigel, sorry, you want to come in there?
Yes. Now, you've given me a second point. I've got 2 points now.
Good.
I'd like to address what you said earlier on, leading up to Brian's answer there. You were saying about these teams up their game against us. There's always a kind of a level. Look at the way Fulham played against, the way Palace played against. Palace were 2-0 up against Man City and then suddenly bent over. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It just, they don't do that against us. Teams turn up, particularly at Liverpool, because you know the atmosphere is going to be great. The other point, well, we can address the other one in a minute, but back to the other point, you're talking about Ferguson. They were all going on about him because football was in vogue with this United team, you know, the Manchester sound and all this crack. Like, they're all on about all these trophies he won. 9 trophies or 17 trophies in 28 years or something like that. Bob Paisley won 17 trophies in 9 years or whatever it was. He won 3 European Cups, retained the European Cup, which Ferguson never did. You know, for me, Bob Paisley is the main man. And if you go back again, you can look at your man, that Herbert Chapman at Arsenal back in the 1920s. He won a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? He's the way the press used to go on about Ferguson and what he got away with, and Manchester City are getting away with now. And Man United are still getting away with it. That goal was offside on Monday night.
Well, yeah, I mean, it probably was. I mean, this is why I refer to him as Slurgy, at least until Sir Bob is knighted. Anyway, Ryan, you're back. You fixed your internet. You plugged it in.
Power cut in Dublin. Miniature power cut on.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. Oh, by the way, have any of you ever heard of the Carrington event? Have you ever heard of this? I was listening to a podcast about this. Very interesting stuff. A Carrington event was a massive solar flare that happened all the time. There was one last week. I don't know if you read about that. But the massive solar flares that happen all the time. But it was back in the 1850s when, you know, at the early days of telegram, where you had transistors, you know, connecting all the wires and all the telegram system. Because of the solar flare, it caused little fires, and the whole everything electric went boom. So maybe at some point all of the internet's going to go boom. It's going to be goodbye to Cop On Podcast. This kind of stuff won't even be possible anymore. But anyway, I digress a little bit. Ryan, welcome back. Power Cup in Dublin. So yeah, we're going to look forward to Newcastle Wednesday night. Newcastle at Anfield on Wednesday night. What sort of, you know, what are the main things you're excited about with that match?
Well, I think looking at today, one of the things, and sorry, just before I got cut out there, you were on about Liverpool's ability to win the ball back today, and one of the things that when any team comes to Anfield is under Klopp has been our work rate and our ability to put teams under pressure. And one of the things I think today, in marked difference to maybe the 2 or 3 games this year, and we talked about going back to basics, was the structure of the team seemed to be really tight today. The press from the front three, the front three definitely played narrower and closer to each other today, even when Bournemouth were trying to work the ball out from the back. I think Firmino being in the team gave Henderson more license to join that press. Elliott certainly today. I think Klopp has made a couple of comments about Harvey stepping up, and I don't think it's anything to do with what he does on the ball. I think it's his work off the ball. I think it was noticeable today. Himself and Henderson were joining that press a lot more, and Liverpool were chasing in groups. They were frequently getting 2 or 3 players in around Bournemouth players in very tight areas, in very tight spaces. And most of the time, the space between the back four and your furthest player was again down to half a pitch maximum. And I think we had missed that in the first 2 or 3 games this season. And again, I think, look, at not to harp back to it, but I think when you have your best players playing in their positions and a guy like Fabinho in there as well, I noticed today and frequently Henderson was breaking the line a lot today. There was a couple of occasions. There was a save that Travers made from Salah in the first half. Henderson had made a run in behind. He was actually offside. He let Salah take the shot. I think in the second half, on a couple of occasions, Henderson was trying to get on the end of a through ball. We haven't had from our midfield, people breaking the lines yet this year. And I think Fabinho coming back into the team allowed Henderson to do that. I think it releases a lot of responsibility from Henderson. And I'm not talking about responsibility in terms of leading the team. I'm talking about responsibility in positional play and where Henderson feels he needs to be. I mean, the second goal on Monday night, facing back towards his own goal in the number 6 position and giving the ball away. I think it's probably, for all that we've seen from Henderson, and he's an excellent player, he's an athlete first. And I think when you release him to go and be the athlete and to press and to join the press, to break the lines, I think you see the best from Jordan. I think Fabinho is a different player to him. He's able to take the ball in tight spaces and he knows his discipline and where to play in that position is much better. But so I think if we bring that forward to Newcastle, I think it's vital that you bring that forward to Newcastle on Monday, because I think having that structure, having that balance in the team, I don't think it was necessarily a lack of hunger in the first 2 or 3 games. I think it was the structure and the balance was wrong, and I think we've got that back now. And I think when we have that in the team, you can see players grouping together and making the pitch smaller when we don't have the ball. And when we do have the ball, they were making the pitch big again today. And I think that's probably, there was a little bit of talk after the game about Klopp having a clear the air meeting during the week. But I think that's probably down to the work that they've done in Kirkby during the week, pressing reset, going back to square one. And I think, yeah, a lot of people are going to look at transfers and bringing you in your £80 million player. But I think for a team that's been there for 5 years, that's been playing at a very consistent level, I think Klopp always uses training as a new signing. And I know that's boring. I know that's boring to a lot of people watching in or listening into the podcast. They want to see the player being bought. But I think getting back to see that they would get back down to basics, that there's a humility in the team, that there's a humbleness in the team for them to put their hands up in spite of all they've achieved and say, yeah, we need to go back to basics and work hard in the training ground this week. I think if that's there, and it has always been in the team, you've got Newcastle coming in, yeah, they've got their new signings and there's a lot of them there, but they haven't had as much time gelling together, and I don't think they have the spirit and the group ethic that Liverpool have. So I think if we bring that forward into Monday night, I think, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think Newcastle have definitely, with the oil money, they've been able to step it up again. But look, I think we should trust in the group. We should trust in the work that's going on in the background, and the hunger and the ability today to chase, to work, to harry, to work in groups was just fantastic.
It's a great answer, and you're absolutely right in terms of the shape. I mean, I think Henderson against United, he was still getting in the box, but he was supposed to be a number 6. He was getting very lost against United. So absolutely brilliant, yeah, because it's the way we stretch horizontally, we're quite narrow, and then sort of vertically, we've got to have this distance as well that you were saying about. Really interesting answer. Thank you very much, Ryan. Some quotes from Jurgen Klopp. I'd like to get your thoughts on these, Nigel. Jurgen says, "We wanted to show a reaction, be ourselves, getting to be the best version of ourselves. We play a specific way." Apparently Klopp told that to BBC Sports. Klopp continues, he said, "We scored wonderful goals, the game settled and we kept scoring. It was about keeping going, not to humiliate Bournemouth, we couldn't respect them more, but it's about putting the opponent under pressure. I could bring on the kids. They deserve it so much. Harvey is a special player. Wonderful goal. Everything was perfect, pretty much. And that's you know, there were lots of things that Ryan was saying there about our style of play, and Klopp was absolutely delighted, wasn't he? Nigel?
Yeah, he was. I'm going back to what Ryan said about, well, a kind of mixture of what Klopp and Ryan said. Best. What you said? Best positions. Mm-hmm. Ryan was talking about best positions. Klopp was talking about best versions. Well, play the players in their best positions, and you'll get the best versions. I think that's the way we set up, and I think I just think that's key. We play our best players. We play Alisson in goal. We play Trent right back. We play Robbo left back. We play Trent, and we play Virgil, and we're probably Matip at the moment when he's fit. We play Fabinho, as we referred to him earlier, the lighthouse. We play Mo. We play. Well, I say Bobby on his day is better than anybody, and then we bring the kids around, and we switch around our core. Our core is as good as anybody's, and if we can build around that core, bringing in some young kids, that's the way to go. It has to be.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant answer. Absolutely. So, Brian, I mean, would you change anything for Newcastle? Same team, just go again, lads, presumably, right? You know, you're not going to change that team, are you? That starting 11?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Ryan brought up the idea of confidence and structure and team. I think actually, I agree and I kind of disagree. I think it's no accident that today was our most commanding performance that we've seen in such a long time. And if you go to whoscored.com or whatever, and you look at the average position of each player, and the average position of each player is exactly where you traditionally expect to see them. So Trent is on the halfway line. Robbo is on the halfway line. Our two centre-backs are a little bit deeper. Fab is smack bang in the middle of the pitch in the DM. Nowhere else in the traditional DM. Our front three are in between the sticks, and Hendo and who and Harvey are advanced of the thing, and it's like, and that's it, and that's where everybody was today, and that's all we need to do, because these are all world-class players with like world-class skills. So we are better than Newcastle, a lot better than Newcastle. And I think a lot of the problems. And look at Trent. I mean, I love Trent to pieces. I love what Klopp does. I love the way we play. I don't know enough about football to analyze our system sometimes, because our system is so complicated. If you look at Trent, he was almost playing in the 10 for a long period of time. If you saw Trent in the 10, you wouldn't blink. You think, oh yeah, Trent's just doing Trent, you know. But what does that mean? You know, and equally, like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out if Trent is showing up in the 10 quite a lot or inside forward, then you just got to put the through ball over the top down the left channel. Mm-hmm. It's there all game long if you're not holding the shape, you know. And I thought today, because sometimes when the structure's tight and everybody's exactly where they need to be, it just breeds confidence into all those players. These are all amazing players. And, you know, I'm sure at some stage they just looked at each other and said, yeah. You know, also Bournemouth knew they were done after the second goal. They were like, I've said this a million times, and Klopp said it as well. He's like, he doesn't want to be the best team in the world, but he wants to be the team that nobody wants to play against, you know? And that's our DNA, basically. When we play like that, very few people can handle it. And anytime we're off the pace, the first thing the opposition thinks of is, they're off the pace. We could get something here today. Let's have a go. But if you play like today, when that second goal comes in, you could tell that those players know, oh, shit, it's us. We're the ones. We're the ones who are going to get spanked. And they did, right? And the great thing about it is they just didn't stop. 3 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals. And then the crowd's going, we want 10. We all wanted 10. And it wasn't us being arrogant or, or being mean-spirited or whatever. It was like, no, we wanted 10 goals because there was another goal to be had, So I think come the midweek game, and actually, until I think we have to play ourselves into that kind of form again, that's all I want to see. I want to see players playing in their positions, and let's go back. Let's not overcomplicate. I even seen Virgil knocking it into Rosette today. And I was like, yes, do that until we just, till we find our rhythm again. Let's not overthink it. We are the best. Our team, more times than not, is the best team on the pitch, no matter who we play. Whether we're playing in Europe, we're playing the Cup, we're playing in the League. Unless we're playing City, we're probably the best team that day. And all those players have to do is just play football and play football in their positions. And that's what happened today. And the end result was just a sight to behold. And it just couldn't come at a better time. It was like every time a goal went in, I was like, shh. Shush. No, it's not happening. Not yet. So back in your box. We're here for a little bit longer, right? It was brilliant.
Absolutely. Excellent answer. And I love the relentlessness, the relentlessness that you were talking to. I mean, when there was a moment in the first half, we were already 2 or 3 goals up and we lost the ball that led to a counter-attack. And you could see Klopp absolutely giving them absolute hell for giving the ball away. And that is exactly where it starts. It starts at the top with Jurgen, and it goes right through the team. The way that we just kept the ball today, we kept it. We didn't try the Hollywood stuff. We didn't try things. We didn't try too hard. You're exactly right. We just played our game, kept it simple. If the pass is onto the guy next to you or in front, then give it as as far forward as you can. But if the pass isn't on, go backwards, or just keep the ball, keep everything flowing. And we did that. Yeah, we did that absolutely superbly today. So it's excellent stuff. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. It's been really nice to enthuse about Liverpool after what feels like ages when we haven't been able to do that. Ryan, you got 9. Yeah, he's holding up 9 fingers. Excellent, Brian. Absolutely well done. Not only can he provide excellent analysis, he can count with his fingers. Excellent stuff. Very good, Brian. Very good. No, 9 is a wonderful feeling, isn't it? But before we go off, I want to say, Ryan, you can tell our listeners and our viewers about the MICK CRONIN appeal, please, because we put a link. There'll be a link in the description and in the description of the audio version, all about the MICK CRONIN appeal. Could you please tell us about what's going on, please?
Yeah, and listen, thanks for giving me the time to talk about it as well. It's been brilliant meeting Nigel and Brian today, the 2 lads who know their stuff, and yourself. It's great and a great day to come on, to come on when Liverpool have had a record win. And look, one guy who would have been watching that today is a guy called Mick Cronin, and Mick and myself are married to 2 sisters. That's how we got to know each other. And I suppose when you marry into a new family, you're always looking at the other side of the fence to say, right, if I'm at a family event here now, who can I have a pint with, or who can I sit down and talk to? And one thing that bonded the 2 of us fairly quickly is he's a huge Liverpool fan, same as myself. So, when I was 30, he was 40, we would have gone over for a double celebration to Liverpool, the game where they beat Man United 2-0, Torres and Ngo and Pepe running the length of the field to celebrate. So look, all through the years, we've been great mates. He's a huge Red. Unfortunately, last November, a day before his 52nd birthday, he went off to work in construction and had a bad fall at work and ended with permanent loss of movement from the neck down. So we've been doing a lot of fundraising for him. And one of the last events that we're doing is an online raffle for Mick. If you go to Instagram at Mick Cronin Fund, or if you go to Twitter at Mick Cronin Fund, you'll find the details of the raffle. There's a couple of Liverpool-related prizes. The club have been exceptionally good to us. They're going to send over a signed jersey from the 22-23 squad. We also have 2 tickets to a Champions League group game. And judging by the group that we're after drawing, there's no bad tickets for that group. And we've a range of other prizes there as well. So we've been very fortunate with the attention and the sponsorship we're after getting. And I suppose, look, the goal of the raffle and the fund is to buy a mobility van for Mick, so that we can have that transport for him when he arrives home. But I know one of the things that has kept Mick going, I suppose, look, lads, it's a dark space to move into when you suffer those kind of injuries. And for a while, it was hard to kind of reconnect Mick with the world around him. And one of the things that reconnected him was his love of Liverpool, his love of football. So he watches Liverpool on his on the Sky Go account in hospital, on his iPad. And we've had a letter from Jurgen giving his support. We've had videos from John Aldridge, Ronnie Whelan, Nia Fahy, the captain of the women's team, Ronnie Whelan. John Aldridge gave us a great one from San Siro before the first leg against Inter Milan. So the support we've had from the Liverpool family and the supporters and people in Liverpool, Ian Byrne, the Liverpool MP, has just been outstanding. And look, we all know the type of city Liverpool is. When one is down, everybody's around them, and we've just been so lucky in terms of the support that we've received. So look, if there's any Reds out there for €10 a ticket, our top prize is a 5-night trip to Chicago, all inclusive. So if you've €10 to spare, you have more chances with us than you do the lotto. Okay, so if you go on to MICK CRONIN Fund on Twitter, or you go to Instagram at MICK CRONIN Fund, you'll find the links in our bios, and it's a great raffle for a good cause, Owen. And thanks for giving me the chance to talk about it as well, Owen.
No, we wish Mick and his family and you and everybody connected with Mick all the very best. We send you all of our love, and absolutely. And those of you who are listening to this, the audio version, I'll put a link in the description of this episode, and it's on the description for the last episode that we recorded just the other day when we were feeling a lot more sorry for ourselves as we reviewed the United game. But no, it's an absolutely wonderful cause. And as you say, if, what's the meaning of You'll Never Walk Alone if it's not that everyone can stick together when times get tough. So, urge anyone, if you've got couple of quid to spare, then that is a very, very worthy cause. I don't know if we've I don't know. I'm out of time, basically, so I'm just going to leave you with a poem, if you don't mind the indulgence. I thought something about today's mad victory and the context in which it came reminded me of this beautiful poem. It's one of my favourites from Charles Bukowski, and it goes like this: Some people never go crazy. Me, sometimes I'll lie down behind the couch for 3 or 4 days. They'll find me there. It's cherub, they'll say, and they pour wine down my throat, rub my chest, sprinkle me with oils. Then I'll rise with a roar, rant, rage, curse them and the universe as I send them scattering over the lawn. I'll feel much better. Sit down to toast and eggs, hum a little tune, suddenly become as lovable as a pink overfed whale. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, guys. You'll never walk alone. This has been Cop On Podcast. You're absolutely lovely to have you all with us on the audio version, on the video version. Thanks for the comments coming in. One from Al comparing Sir Alex Ferguson to Taggart. Appreciated that. I think he just said fuck Taggart, and that's a very succinct thing. So well done. And all the best. You'll never walk alone. Take